What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, Draymond Green speaks on the Clippers, and he speaks about, how much of a threat they are to the Warriors actually going into next season. And I think Draymond Green has a great point. The Clippers are very stacked. They're very loaded. They have a lot of good pieces. And like I said, really they're continuing their journey in this offseason to add to what they have, because they definitely need another big man. And they definitely use maybe, one or two more pieces maybe that I think definitely need a big man if they want to add somebody else, just to make their depth more well-rounded. And they can't really make it more well-rounded than what it is, but they can always add to what they have to see if it can, better their chances, of course. So I'm liking what the Clippers have. I like their team overall myself. I like the defense that they have more than anything. I mean, Kawhi, PG, you got Norman Powell. You got Robert Covington, who could play D. They re-signed Nicholas Batum, definitely a 3-and-D guy. And they got some other pieces there. Marcus Morris is still there. He could play some defense. Let's see. They got, Terrence Mann. He's another one that plays defense. And even Luke Kennard, surprisingly, on defense, he's pretty feisty, or can play. He moves his feet pretty well himself on defense. So, they got some pieces on defense. And that's the main thing I look at when I look at championship caliber type teams. What do you look like on the defensive end? Can you stop anybody when you need to, or make certain stops at times during games when you need to allow your team to play to that level? You see what I'm saying? So when you do that, or when you have that type of ability and you're able to score at a pretty high clip, that definitely makes you a contender for a championship. So I think Draymond Green is right on the head. And, Draymond speaks about, their coach more than anything. He said in his statement that Ty Lue is arguably the best coach in the NBA. And it's really true. I mean, he might be the best coach in the NBA. I mean, based upon what he had last year on the floor, nobody thought they would be good enough to even at least contend to even be in playoff contention or play in tournament contention, especially when Paul George went down. But even still, through all that, they found a way to be an effective team. They found a way to be a team that, a lot of people didn't look at as a welcome mat, a team that they could just walk all over just because Kawhi and PG wasn't there. The whole point was that Tyler was implementing was, don't let teams walk all over us. We're still going to fight. We're still going to give it everything we got. And we're still going to be, competitive every single night. And that's my thing with Ty Lue. And I think that's one thing that doesn't get talked about enough about the Clippers, about how good of a team they are. They got a really good team, but they also got a really, really good coach. I mean, a coach who knows how to press the right buttons and get certain things out of players that other coaches just can't do. And like I said, I've seen Ty Lue with this Clippers team last year. I've seen him, be in the background, being assistant coach, at times where he makes the right moves. He says the right things. And even, like I said, when he was an assistant coach with the Clippers, when Doc Rivers was there, I mean, his input on certain things that a lot of people don't know about, certain plays and certain things like that they ran, and how he saw the operation. He definitely implemented some things, even though he couldn't do much because Doc Rivers was the head coach. But, I feel like Ty Lue is definitely a glue type guy. I feel like he's the type where, even though he was kind of under Doc Rivers and, he played, he did some assistant coaching roles before then, he learned from every situation that he was in. He saw all the mistakes that the coaches were making, like Doc Rivers and other coaches he'd been behind and worked with. And he added that to his value and what he knows about the game, because he played it and he won championships as a player. So he added that to what he knows as a player. And then he actually implements that through his players while they're on the floor, which is very amazing to see, because this team right here, has been one of the most injury-riddled teams, if not arguably the most injury-riddled team that has the ability to contend for a championship. So, as I said before, I think Draymond has a great point, and I think Draymond's right on it. I mean, right now, the Clippers are the biggest threat, to the Warriors. Not unless the Lakers somehow, land KD and Kyrie or something like that. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, it's going to be tougher for the Clippers to win a championship then, because now, the Lakers would have like a big three, awesome, type, roster on paper, even though sometimes big threes don't work out. We just saw that with James Harden, KD and Kyrie. So, I mean, it's always a possibility there. But unless a team forms like a big three or something like that, of that type of magnitude, I think the Clippers are in great contention to, win or have an opportunity to win or have an opportunity to basically, give the Warriors a run like Draymond Green was saying. So, and Draymond looks at this team, like he said, they got Kawhi Leonard and PG, superstars and Kawhi Leonard and PG, and plus they got a supporting cast that really knows how to play basketball in situations. Situational basketball is what I always talk about, knowing how to make the play at the time, no matter whether it's on defense, causing a turnover, or making a shot, knocking down a big free throw, or diving for loose balls, things like that. Those are what championship teams do. They play situational basketball very well. When it's time for them to make plays or execute at a high level, they do that. They don't shy away from it, and they don't lose sight of that. And that's one thing that I feel like the Clippers have as a unit. They play very well together, no matter who's on the floor. I mean, they can have lesser talent on the floor, and they play to a higher level, to a higher standard. I mean, we saw the games where they were down 25, 35 points last year, especially that 35-point game that they were down against the Wizards, even though it was the Wizards. But, they still came back from 35 points, completed the victory, got the win, and Luke Kennard was the hero that game. And, he was a hero quite a few games, and then they had some other supporting casts off the bench, like Amir Coffey, which I'm glad they gave him an opportunity to re-sign, bring Amir Coffey back, because I think he's a big part of, he could be a big part of, their bench going forward, because this dude can definitely score. So, I mean, now they got another scorer off the bench that they actually trust. And Amir Coffey, on most teams, Amir Coffey wouldn't even got no playing time on most teams in the NBA. But, he got an opportunity to go out there and prove himself. And look, he goes out there and have like 3 or 4 games with 30 plus points. So now Ty Lue is looking at it like, hey, I got an extra scorer coming off the bench with Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard, an extra scorer that I feel like I can trust. You see what I'm saying? And that's the one thing about Ty Lue. He finds ways to pull the best out of players because he allows himself to trust them on the floor. He gives players that freedom. He gives them that trust until you break it. You see what I'm saying? So when coaches give players that freedom and also implement the right things to them, it allows them to play better and flourish under, dire situations. And that's what the Clippers players do. They excel in situations where most people think they won't. And now you're adding Kawhi and PG back to this mix, along with adding John Wall, a point guard who can go from end to end of the floor, who can play at a high level. I haven't seen him play at a high level in a couple years, but I mean, he's still, looked at or revered as, one of those point guards who can definitely help a team. And definitely, if he's got anything left of what he had in the Wizards days, well, he definitely can help a team be really good, because like I said, he can push the pace. And like I said, he can give you 8-9 assists a game with about 20 points a game. So, I mean, now you got a point guard who, if Ty Lue gets him on the right page and get him in the right mindset of winning and how to win and how to play in that type of formula of winning and implement that in his mind and his gameplay, now John Wall could be a championship caliber point guard. And that's something different than even what he was back in the day. That's taking his talents to another level. So we'll see what happens with the whole thing. But I definitely agree with Draymond that this team is definitely loaded. This team is definitely the one to, fear, or one of the teams to fear in the NBA going forward, or in the Western Conference, for them to get back out of the Western Conference, in which the Warriors are hoping that they do. But it's standing in their way is definitely the Clippers, and that's definitely a huge threat to them. So I definitely agree with Draymond. We just have to see, if that matchup comes to life. And if it does, it'd be a great 7-game series. But I think, the way the Clippers are built, I think they would take it, in 6 games. But it would definitely be a close series, and I definitely would be anticipating on the edge of my seat to watch it whenever it happens, or if it does happen. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos as always. And hey, Khaliis out.